I want to welcome everyone who's come, to all those online and to those unseen masters and angels who have filled this room with their divine presence. And what is a master? And when we explore the word in its highest conceivable outpicturing of divinity, it is one who could be said is unmovable in their God-centeredness. It is one who has an equilibrium and is not moved by the dramas of the day, one who sees beyond time and space as the eternal blueprint of God has laid out this plan of divine evolution for all of us. To see only the light and to stay in this now moment, abiding in the peace of the Buddhas, the love of the Christ, the holy awe of the Krishna. To us, we can be that too, as we see it reflected back in our hearts and minds and our souls. And as we choose to be unmoved by drama, by the Mayic outplaying of events that have been churning for eons, as it is said that nothing has been seen. Everything has been seen once before. In probably more dramatic ways. So today, with our elections and with the back and forth of the debates and between the parties, we can choose to embody the middle way, stay spiritually centered and disinterested as Maya will play out, the drama will play out. And the message is everything will be okay. Everything will be okay. Either way, you will be okay. The light is shining on you. The Divine Mother has everything under control. We were winning from the beginning. There is no way God will let His divine plan fail. But what we can do is emulate the masters, emulate the Buddhas. Hold that for our family and friends. Not let our light turn into irritation and fear and discord. But hold that energy of love and peace and knowing the bigger picture, seeing it through the eyes of the Divine Mother, and bringing her vision of perfection to earth through us by embodying that peace. Which brings us to this meditation, this moment in time where we can go there. We are there. So for a few moments now, in the stillness of this living room, in the holiness of your very life here, this opportunity given to you and me to be, and we choose to be. So let us start this meditation now. In the name of the Christ, I call to you, O Gautama Buddha, Lord Maitreya, Pambasambhava, the Dhyani Buddhas, to the Buddha of the ruby ray, and the Buddha of inside the center of the earth, to the Buddhas that live on the sun, and the great central sun Buddhas, to now fill this planet with divine peace, with divine knowing that everything's going to be okay. We are moving towards the light, the age of Aquarius. A new freedom is coming, a new opportunity for us to be, us to see, and us to know the infinite, the eternal ones. Sit with us now, all ye Buddhas. Coming back and taking a breath. And as we hear the sound of electricity in this room, the power of stillness, the holiness of vibration that we created in this room, as we co-created with the angels who give it form and design as they have built something of ethereal substance out of our prayers and our longing and out of our love for God, for the light, for what is beautiful and holy, for what is peace. And this vibration, this substance of spiritual energy has been gathered and built a light ship above us. Crystalline, golden, clear, a place where souls can go for a ride, so to speak, in the light of God's suchness. That will take them out of their human and into a divine place. They will be transported in this light ship in an act of freedom and grace that will take them to a place of peace. And as we pulse out billions and billions of these little light ships to every person in the world, let the angels take them by the hand. And may they drop their doctrine and dogma, their ideas, and just be in the light. Just be in the stillness. Just be in the beauty of it all. And I send out one special light ship from my heart to Michael Costner, a friend of mine who had a heart attack a few days ago, was on the waiting list for a new heart, a heart transplant. And this afternoon at 11 a.m. went under surgery for a heart transplant in Washington, Seattle, Washington area. And I send this light ship over to him, and I ask my God presence to so fill that ship with peace, opportunity, and hope. And I pray for the highest and the best plus grace in this surgery. For his soul. As he's only 60 years old. I pray a blessing upon all of his family and friends, his 2 sons, his wife. And I hold a field of peace around the doctors, the nurses, in the intensive care unit there. And I say to the Divine Mother, hear our prayer. And many of us have people we're praying for, situations that we're praying for. And as we put our hearts out for God to see, just let those prayers and words form and release them into the ethers. And now we speak for humanity, who all long, everyone, for peace. Everyone longs for love. Everyone longs for understanding and compassion. Everyone longs for a better world. Everyone longs for justice and freedom to be. And these are the common denominators that we all share. And some go about it one way and others go about it another. But it is the soul. It is the flame of God that longs for this expression in time and space. And we dissolve the disunity which pits and fights and argues, brother against brother, sister against sister, country against country. And we hold the bigger picture before the Divine Mother, who smiles and says, I love all my children. And when you're ready, open your eyes. Feel grounded in your Buddhic centeredness, your Buddhic peace, your Buddhic strength and power, and you shall not be moved. You shall not be moved. Your feet are firmly planted on Mother Earth. And the Buddhic mind is seeing beyond time and space. So I was talking about my friend Michael Costner, who I worked in a spiritual community for several years up in Montana. I was a monk with him. He was a regular brother. He was actually my boss for a year when I was on staff. And there was a group of people that were born in 1959. And we were like a club. And we all knew each other. We would find out that you were born in 1959. And they said, oh, you were born in 1959. And so most of the people that were on staff at the time were much older. So this is back in the 80s. So we all knew each other. And we traveled around the country, promoting the teachings of the Ascended Masters. For 6 months. It's one of the funnest times in my life. The countless daily miracles and serendipitous encounters with people that were brought to us by the angels. Michael is a driven soul who works like 20 hours a day, just driven. It's difficult to keep up with him, as you can imagine. I'm not that driven like he was driven. And so we would work all night long. Stop work at 5 a.m. My favorite memory was being in New York City with him, and we had worked all night long. And he says, let's go see the Statue of Liberty. And so we took the very first ferry over to the island. And as soon as the boat docked, he says, I'll race you to the top. And so he took off running he was the first one. We took the first boat over. He was the first one off the boat, and he started running. And I said, well, game on. So I did catch him I think I finally caught him going up the stairs. And at that time, you could actually go to the very, very top. And he had lost his gas. And He just run out of gas about halfway up the stairs. And I had just gotten my second wind. And I just passed him, and I went all the way up to the top. And I was there by myself in the crown of the Goddess of Liberty, by myself for several minutes, just in that living being. And I caught my breath. Finally, my legs were burning. My lungs were absolutely on fire as I had just gave everything I had to get there. And then when I caught my breath and I was looking out over New York City and all the big buildings there, he finally came up, huffing and puffing and totally burned out. And he looked at me and I smiled. And I forget what happened after that, but it was I always brought that up to him whenever I met him, in a casual environment or whatever. Remember that time in New York? What? Oh yeah, back in 87? We went to, I told him, well anyways, God bless him. Such a shock because everything was fine. Everything was fine one moment. And then he had a problem. They went to the local Bozeman hospital. They said you had a heart attack. This is beyond our scope of what we're capable of handling. We're going to have to fly you from Bozeman, Montana to Seattle, where they have this capability to handle your case. He gets there. He finds out his heart has to be taken out and another heart put in. So there's a waiting list. Talk about knocking on death's door. So I've been praying for him nonstop during this whole process. Many, many other people in our spiritual community are praying for him. He was very active in that area of Bozeman, Montana. He played the guitar in a Bajan band and led decrees and services at the Bozeman Sanctuary there. Very dedicated soul, serving the masters and making contact with his God presence, his indwelling God presence. So whatever happens, I know he will be fine. I know he will be fine. So on the other side, we're having this election. But to me now, the election doesn't really matter that much because of the seriousness of really what life is about. Yeah, we could have one president or the other president, but nothing really is going to change. But our life, our golden opportunity, that's what really matters. And the press loves to find buttons to push. And I'm speaking to a lot of people online right now, and a lot of my friends who are polarized. Extremely, the one side is the enemy or the other side is the enemy. One friend on Facebook says, I want to know who you voted for. So I can send, if you didn't vote the way I did, I can send hate. He didn't say that, but that was, he was going to unleash some, something that was not pure love. So let's just take everything into perspective. Michael had the surgery today at 11 o'clock in the morning, and they said it was going to take 4 hours, sometimes 8 hours. 4 hours if everything goes right. I couldn't imagine a more complicated to take someone's heart out of their chest and put in someone else's heart who was in a car accident, or I don't know the situation behind that. If you're an organ donor, that's what happens. No, I've been checking, and I'm sure the last thing they want to do is put another post on Facebook right now. They're pretty mentally, emotionally just exhausted. I'm sure his whole family is. They're in Washington. I was contemplating of flying up there, which I might do.
You have to remember that whatever happens, it's all in divine order. Whatever happens, it's all exactly what his higher consciousness wants him to do. And his family is much more attached to him being here than he is, because he's really okay either way.
Yeah, that's kind of like what I got is everything is okay.
Yeah,
It's okay whatever happens.
Right, it is. He's okay with whatever happens. It's his family and his friends.
That are.
So the best thing you can do is hold the vision of whatever is for his highest good on all levels, and not be attached to what that is, because then that's pulling on him when he doesn't need to make that decision for his loved ones. He needs to make that decision for himself.
That's so true. And it's hard not to pull on, like you want to keep people here. You want to,
But you hear what I'm saying?
I hear exactly what you're saying. Yeah. So we want him the highest and the best plus grace, and whatever he decides is okay with all, and to hold the family and the friends in that vision of it's okay.
Right.
There is this possibility that he obviously went for is to get another person's heart.
Right.
So he had to make that decision, and apparently he went that direction. So.
And that there's a reason for all of it, and you may never know what that is, but it's all in divine order. It's all happening exactly how it's meant to.
The other thing I was thinking about too, let me hook up another mic here so we can carry on this conversation and people can hear us.
Okay.
So what were you saying, Lori?
Well, so what I sensed, felt his spirit very, very clearly. And what I can tell you is, from my perspective, or what I was shown, is that he hasn't made up his mind yet. He hasn't made up his mind yet. And that he knows that he can leave. I don't see fear in that he knows he can leave. He's feeling pulled by everybody around him to stay because it's their investment. And that what really, ideally, everybody could want was whatever's for his highest good on all levels. Just holding that intention, because it's about him. It's not about the people, everybody else. And it really is all in divine order. It's all taken care of. Even him getting a heart, whether he uses that fully or not. It's all part of the divine plan. And he knows how much love is being poured out to him. He knows that. But it's sort of pulling on him. And it would be great if he could just make a decision for what is for his highest good on all levels, from his perspective, not everybody else's investment.
We also live in such an amazing time of grace that is so abundant on the earth. With medical science the way it is now, to have this ability to have this 5 or 10 years extra with I don't know how long people live after they have a heart transplant, but this was not heard of 100 years ago. There was not that kind of gift to humanity.
But it's very Atlantean also, and very Lemurian. Well, probably more Atlantean. So let's come back around. And he's going to be divine, whether he's in body or in spirit. He already is. And he wishes all of you great peace with whatever his choice is.
So, our journey, my journey, your journey, everyone's journey, we have to look at the place where we decide, we don't have to look, but we choose not to look, but we have to choose to let go at some point on our journey and leave the body and go to our other journey in our spiritual bodies.
And what do we want for ourselves when it's that time? And what do we want for the others that we're saying goodbye to in this realm, although we're always around them?
Well, we want to leave the world a better place.
Yes, absolutely.
We want to make sure that they know that they are loved and cared for. And I can say this to everyone here and everyone on the broadcast, that I will be watching over you when I go.
Well, I'll be watching
eternally.
I will be watching over you when I go, which is sooner than you're going to go, my dear. You're stuck with me.
Well, we are all heart-tied in the Antakarana.
Is this a strange conversation or what?
It is kind of, we're going to switch the conversation, but it is looking at it from outside time and space in a kind of Buddhic disinterestedness, but yet we do love the people that God brings us. We do love our spiritual family and our real family. And so that is eternal and unbreakable. And when you have, a guru or a teacher, you know that they will continually, lifetime after lifetime after lifetime, be watching over you, be sending you opportunities and blessings and visions and insights that when we are still in meditation, we can pick up. And we have so many examples of this room people that have walked the earth that are now are our guides and our friends.
So also, we need to, as you said before, to have trust and faith that the election is all going to be in divine order, and whatever is for the highest good of this country on all levels, whether it's to learn and grow some more in one way or learn to grow some more in the other way, is going to be what happens. And, you know, any fears or worries isn't going to change that. You know, it's all divinely orchestrated on some level that's beyond what most people can see. So I did a organized oneness peace meditation this morning at 9 o'clock for anybody that wanted to participate. It was so powerful. It just set the tone for the whole day. And so we're going to be doing that every morning at 9 o'clock Pacific time, as long as we need it, to set the tone for people within and to set the intention for people without. So anybody who wants to join us, it's not formal, just tuning in at Pacific time, 9 a.m.
For those of the people online, if they want to join your 9 o'clock meditation, how do they reach you?
They don't. They just do it at 9 o'clock.
Just do it at 9 o'clock.
Pacific time, which I think is 11 Eastern time right now, right? And 12?
3 hours ahead.
No, 2. We fell back.
Yeah, but they did too.
Oh, they did too.
Yeah,
Oh, we're not in
I-
Hawaii anymore. Oh, we're not in Hawaii anymore. Oh, yes. There is that. Hawaii doesn't change. Oh, yeah. Right. So it is 12. So yes, that's absolutely right, Christy. So just tune in. You know, my essence will be everywhere around the planet, holding that. And I have a huge group of people in India who will also be joining us. And, you know, anyway, it's about 9 p.m. their time. So it's all good. Just tune in. And it's a oneness peace meditation. So just meditating on all of our oneness, because we all are all connected, whether we see it or not, and holding that vision for peace for the world and especially for this country during this time.
And you also have a Facebook group called?
I also have a Facebook group called Peace for All with Ma Uri. Thank you.
That they
You
can join the group.
You can join, yes, you can join on Facebook. It's an open group, and every day I say what it is that I post what it is that we're going to focus on that day with our intentions. There's no formal time or anything, just whenever people want to. And so I check what's happening in the world and decide where it is we need to channel that energy. So yes, thank you, Christy. Mm-hmm. And that was Peace for All movement with Ma Uri. And Ma Uri is my honored name as an embodiment of the Divine Mother. So that's what that is.
About the elections, does anybody have any advice to give those who are polarized or pulled in by the drama?
Well, I would look at what is the payoff in being that invested. How are you helping anything, or are you hurting yourself by being so angst about it that, you know, and what we know is that whatever you focus on is more likely to manifest. We all know that. So focus on the good, and, you know, there's nothing wrong with having a priority who you would like to see. There's nothing wrong with that. But what are you going to do with that? You know, you're going to make war or peace with it, within and without.
Chloe?
Go, okay. I have a similar belief about that. What's the point if your focus is on some negative aspect of one side or the other, or whatever's going on? That's what you're creating. And if you can funnel it into something that you can do, you can just, vote and go on with your life. That's enough, and you've done your part. And you can pray. What are the positive things that you can do? Yeah, that's.
Do I, Chloe? There are two things roaming in my mind. One is your questions, of course, because we're here participating. But the other one is about your concerns about your friend. Real. You are a witness that I've been in that situation. Something like 3 years ago, or less, Dennis? 3 years ago, 4 years ago, yeah. I had a heart attack myself. And the funny thing is that I saw it coming a couple of years ago. But anyway, my prayers then were, oh Lord, my God, teach me about the intelligence of the heart. And all of the sudden praying about that, because Jesus Christ is not saying be intelligent, but he says, your heart, your heart, your heart. Okay. I kept hypnotized by my own prayers, and then I forgot all about it. So all of a sudden I was in that situation that I had to go to emergency because I felt a really, really acute pain. So I went to the hospital, and they prepared me immediately, which I admire that people working in emergency. This is amazing. Well, I was dying because of the pain, not because of anything else. I wasn't afraid, but the pain, this is so terrible. So at the end, they calmed my pain and prepared me to go into the operation room. And I remember that at that moment when I was already prepared, waiting for Dr. Carr, was the name of the surgeon, I was talking to whoever is, we call God, right? I was talking, I am not afraid to go. If this is my time, please do take me. Now I'm ready. And nothing happened. I'm ready and asking. But then I have that shift of awareness that I start looking at the room, operation room, the very, very futuristic lamps and very space-like, place. Like it was
Spaceship.
A spaceship, yes. I was in a spaceship at that moment. and all of a sudden, my God, where is this? Consciously I knew I'm in the hospital. Yeah. But there was something else parallel to it, that process, which was saying, Jesus Christus, I am abducted. For sure, that was the other awareness. I am abducted, my God, Jesus Christ. So I was actually expecting the unexpected, Sure. And all of a sudden, Dr. Carr again came dressed up with his mask in green, and he leaned over me. And when I saw him, it was the very angelical presence. And no, it's not that you see an angel. No, I felt probably the archetype of a healing angel. Probably the archetype. And it came through him. And I was like this, feeling the calmness, no words. All of a sudden he says, it will be very fast. Don't worry. That's the only thing. But I was in the presence of an angel. And in a spaceship, you know. Yeah. Okay. And all of a sudden, I lose consciousness and I appear the next moment in the intensive care, where the nurses are running around. How are you? You know, keeping an eye on me. And I start feeling something invading my whole being, but it started with my body, of course, with a calm, serenity, peace. And it started invading me. My God, I thought, this is gratitude. The feeling of gratitude by being care, and how I felt immediately, like intellectually, gratitude, thank you very much. No, this is not gratitude. These are forms. What I was feeling is the reality. Wow. So coming back to the whole conversation and that Dennis brought forward about his friends and what you were telling, we have fears because we are attached. And this is actually, I had the impression, we, all of us, are working towards to detach ourselves by losing density. This is mine, my jealousy, my possessions. All that things is a life-living process, which in that moment, like I was experienced, I can talk only about myself, is you are confronted with. But it happened like that. Nobody is preparing you. All of a sudden you are there, on the spot. And then this is the conversation you will have, and we all are going to have with the Creator. You don't have anything to say, but you can say. But you don't have anything to say.
Carlos, I don't remember how I found out you were in the hospital, but I remember when I came to visit you, I was expecting, you know, I don't know what I was expecting, but it was like when I came into your room, there you were, like you were in a resort somewhere, enjoying, you know, your orange juice and everything else in the room service.
This is true. This is true. This is amazing what he's saying. Because Marco came with you, and where was the other one?
Eric.
Eric. They look at me like, you know, what the hell are you doing here? You know, you don't look like you are, you know, fading away. And then he said to me, you are going to live longer. This is the only thing he said. Do you remember? Okay. I went away. There were people from Montana, which I am very grateful. They were praying for me. You know, he's not going to make it. But the funny thing is, to make the story short, there was a conference here. Then I came, and people looking at me and say, hey, Carlos, I thought you were dying, but you are looking well. This is the funny thing. Unexpectedly, the prayers are being answered. Show me the intelligence of the heart. Yeah? Show me the intelligence of the heart. And then all of a sudden he showed me. But the thing is that since that moment, Dr. Carr opened my heart physically, because it was a clog there, a vein that he has to, you know, to clean it up. Actually, he did it physically, but the effect was spiritual. And this is my hope, because when I hear the story about your friend, I feel, you know, he is okay. They are taking care of him.
I think he's okay. I think he hasn't decided what he wants to do now. I mean, he can certainly live if he chooses to.
Yeah.
He can certainly live if he chooses to. And if he decides
You want
that
to talk about?
it's time to go,
You want to say something?
he's going to go.
It was kind of interesting. I sent him a spaceship.
You wanted him to have the same kind of experience that Carlos had.
Man, yeah.
That's fun.
You was like that. Chloe,
That's a beautiful story.
Yeah, that's really
That's a
beautiful.
story. Thanks for sharing.
this is an experience, my lady. This is amazing. I was in a spaceship. I was abducted.
And Michael may think he's going to go
Maybe
too
he's-
when he gets in your spaceship.
You're sending a
But
spaceship.
fears can stop you, pull you down with the gravity,
Right.
you know? But be the ignorant, the naive. I don't know what it is. You know? Yeah.
Very good. Thanks for sharing that.
Yeah, it was, I really liked it too.
You told me some of that story before a few years ago.
Yeah, yeah, I did
Yeah.
it to you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a very good story.
Well, I mean, that's really beautiful that you got to experience that, you know, in full, you know, your choice playing out. And I think that's the sad part with people that have a lot of people pulling on them. I mean, I've done it too. How do you not do that? Because I mean, you're praying for their well-being, but and they're going into the light and being the light, whichever realm they choose. But
Well,
it's hard.
I think this is the opportunity for us to go into the highest level of consciousness possible when our loved ones are in that state. When one of my older twins was 1.5, she was running a fever of something over 106. It was 106 underneath her arm, which means it could be 107. I raced her to the emergency. I took a bonnet and I soaked it in water and I slapped it on her head. And I'm driving her to the emergency room. I also had the 3-year-old and the 1.5-year-old's twin in the car. And the whole time I'm yelling to her higher self, if this is your time to go, then go, then go.
Oh my
Easily, effortlessly out of here. If this is your time to stay, you get down here and you fix this baby body right now. I'm sure I freaked my other kids out because I'm yelling at them and yelling at the top of my lungs the entire ride to the ER. They take her, and one side of her body, first turns blue, then turns purple, then turns black, as capillaries are popping all over her whole side. They have her in a bath of cool water, and I'm still yelling in my head, you know, so I'm not freaking out the ER people. The same thing, you know, you get down here and you know, fix this baby body or you let her go. You know, there's going to be no suffering here, one or the other right now. And then it just sort of all disappeared, and they said, well, we can't find anything wrong with her. And we went home. Okay.
I love how you phrase it. I always pray for the highest and the best plus grace for people, and you say the highest on all levels. I love how that sounds. The highest on all levels, and that is so all-encompassing.
Right. Because we don't know. We don't know what is for their highest good and all levels. It's not our decision to make. You know, so, you know, of course I didn't want my child to leave. But if that is her destiny, if this is her moment, then who am I to decide something different for her because my selfishness? Right?
Well, we can all do the best we can do, and at times we're going to be selfish and want that person to maybe stay. And then we'll have moments of clarity and go, oh, it's for their highest good, of course.
When I'm ready to go, you better not be yelling at me to stay.
I'm not going to yell at you to stay.
Okay. Just be clear. You better not be praying for me to stay, because
You better stop telling me what to do or I will.
I will come back and haunt you for the rest of your day.
You will not haunt me. I'll bring my witchy medicine in and I'll bring you back.
Get karma for
All right. Anyway, I think that we can only do the best we can do. You know, we're still having this human experience, and you can't beat yourself up for having moments of wanting somebody to stay and, you know, feeling sad because they might go. I mean, it just is part of this experience. And yes, as spiritual beings, we can see them in spirit, we can feel them in spirit, and it's not the same, you know, as much as we want to tell ourselves that it is, you know, they're still here. Well, they are, but they're not, because we're not taught to live in that space, right?
Absolutely.
So,
Well, Carlos, we're really happy you made a decision to stay.
yeah,
We're
we
all
got to
very
meet you.
blessed to have you
Yeah.
here. And you
Yeah.
have
I
such
didn't make the decision. I tell, okay, I'm ready.
but
Pick
part
me up. But nothing happened.
Well, they sent you a spaceship
I think it was
and
already
an
there.
angel. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, right.
But you know, this is what you are saying. At the moment, precisely at that moment, you do what you really are prepared to do. Really, not intellectually the light or the angels. Or, no, what you really are. You're going to say. When my mother died, I was 18 years old. I was the only one with her. She collapsed. Me, at that moment, there was desperation I never felt in my life. That is heavy. But what happened? All of the sudden, the people and the commotion, my mother was lie down. And I'm remembering your mother. I don't know why. You remember that your mother, I was in contact with her before she died. But anyway, coming back. My mother came, the doctor, to make the whole show because it was like that, trying to bring her back. Forget it. She was, no. I knew the doctor should not do, you know. But anyway, I was talking to her at that moment when she was dead. Talking to her in my mind, telling her, Mother, is enough. For you, for me, for my brother, and for my father. But especially for you. Because she was so happy, so full of life, and she was really paralyzed. And I was talking to her like that. Years after, and what happened, her face started blossoming. Beautiful Spanish face that she had. It's not white like you, but white Spanish, you know? They are rose color. And like she was smiling. I was looking at that and not believing, because I was with my own issues at that moment. How can I wish to my mother to go? To die? How can I wish that? But I was doing that.
because you have compassion.
I was doing that. Years after, I was blaming myself. How can I do that to my mother? How can I do this? Okay? Then I had a life coach that he said to me, he asked me, we never talk about your mother. Gluck. The big knot in my throat. And I say, no, you. And to make the story short, I told him what I just told you. And then he says, congratulations. Me? Congratulations? I was waiting for the worst, but congratulations. You did the best you can wish for a human being. I was in balloon at that moment, and then I decompress. What? Yes. Why do we want to keep somebody chained to the gravity of this planet? And then I don't remember what he said, but the only one I remember is that you did the brave thing. And that will happen to me too. In a very early age. My God. So everything is in divine order. And he is being taken care. Like I was being taken care, we have assistance. And, well, I'm talking too much, but anyway, because I get excited, because I never had the opportunity to talk about these things,
We're very glad you're sharing all of it.
like, thank you so much, anyway. Put the seal to that.
Well, it's 9 o'clock. We're going to end this. And Carlos, since you have the microphone, do you mind doing the closing prayer? Because you have the... Yeah, take your microphone and we'll stand with you.
Angels and archangels of the light, ancestors, gatekeepers, thank you for being with me and with my lovely company of these enlightened souls. We've been honoring you, but talking about you, talking about the way how we ascend, that we all make ideas, we all make imaginings, vain imaginings about how is to go over to the place where we are coming from, source. I thank you so much for giving us the support and assistance. And as we are guarded and taken care of, so is Michael. Then his friends, who in this moment, he is in a critical situation, which is being surrounded by light beings assisting him to whether he decides to go, ascend, or stay. Everything is going to be okay. And everything is okay. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you, Carlos. God bless you, everyone on the broadcast. Thank you for joining us in your hearts and minds. We'll be broadcasting again tomorrow at 7:30 for the Rosary to the Divine Mother. And tonight, let us keep this energy of peace. Let us keep our feet on the ground and our Buddhic minds beyond time and space, and centered in God consciousness, so that we can truly affect the earth and be a blessing to others and to the earth and to the sky and to all the beings with our positive energy. God bless you, everyone, and good night.
Let's have some chocolate.
Oh, yeah, pass it around. Carlos has brought some treats. We're going to break them out.
We are celebrating.
Thanks for sharing all that.
Yeah.
You know, you're so.
I don't know. You want water? I don't know.
So you're so filled with wisdom. That you're not
Yes,
going to argue
yeah,
with
no,
divine
I am
embodiment, are you?
never,
I didn't think so.
never,
I
I am
didn't
not.
think so.
No, I am not.
Okay, all right. So you're going to listen to me for a minute.
Yeah.
You are so filled with wisdom and with light. And it's time for you, I've told you this before, to share it. And we all enjoy hearing it. And the people on the broadcast need to hear it.
You're an incredible storyteller.
And you're an incredible storyteller. So don't ever apologize.
No, I am not.
We're very grateful. We're very grateful.
You know what it is? It's a reaction, not in what you are telling me or portraying. No, it is a reaction that I am not used the people so straightforward.
Yeah, but it's us.
Yeah, no.
It's us.
Yeah.
So you can't hide from us.
No. I never
Yeah.
would have even dare to do it.
No, I would hope not. That would be sacrilegious.
Yeah, that is
Here's the guide.
I need something that does not
My
have
choice.